Hello everyone, my name is Liz Drury. I'm a freelance voiceover artist based in North Lincolnshire, working for clients all over the world, and my specialty is audio for the heritage sector. I would have loved to have been at the meeting today, but unfortunately I'm on holiday. So Anna very kindly agreed that I could create a video for you to tell you what I would have told you had I been there in person. So I've got a short presentation to share with you about bringing heritage to life through audio. Just a little bit first about who I am. As I've said, I'm a freelance voiceover artist based in North Lincolnshire. I'm the voice of a number of museum and gallery audio tours and walking tours around historic sites. I've been the leader of the Barton Ghost Walk since 2015. And I also created another walk around Barton, which we do on Heritage Open Days with the South Bank Players, which I'm a member of. And recently I've been taking some training from the Authentic Spark in heritage interpretation. So heritage is the thing that I really love to do the most. And why do I specialise in the heritage sector? Well, I have a PhD in archaeological science, so anything with a historical nature is of interest to me. I've got experience of working in a museum setting. I spent a summer working at the Science Museum for Children called Eureka in Halifax. And I'm a member of the Association for Heritage Interpretation and also the Heritage Network. So this is the field that I really feel most comfortable working in. So why does audio matter in a heritage setting? Well, it enhances the visitor experience. It creates that emotional connection with the visitor. If you think about taking an audio tour, you're right there in somebody's ear. It's a very, intimate experience. It can make a site more accessible and inclusive, particularly for people who've got, visual problems, or maybe they don't read particularly well and they don't want to spend hours in front of a board reading lots of text. You can use audio to highlight a particular aspect of a collection, or a particular part of a site, and you can tell people more about it, much more than they would ever read off an information board. Also, it can create a cohesive brand voice for a site. You might use the same voice for your voicemail greetings and your on-hold messages, or any training that you're doing for your staff, as well as your audio tour for your visitors. And as well as why audio matters, the quality of it matters too. People will switch off from poor audio. I think we're far more forgiving of poor video these days, especially as so many people record things on their mobile phone. But if we can't hear something, probably, we're not going to spend a great deal of time with it. So do bear in mind that the quality of your audio does matter. Telling stories, that's what we're doing basically, isn't it? Through audio tours and so on. As I've just said, audio is a very intimate medium. And it creates a very immersive experience for the visitor. You can play them a soundscape of what it might have sounded like in times gone by. Maybe you're standing in an old, dining hall of a castle, and you can play those noises in the background of servants and people talking and people scraping knives on plates and that kind of thing, which really adds atmosphere to the visit. People can really imagine themselves back there. It creates a very human connection to heritage interpretation. Many places rely on people reading things on information boards or looking at pictures, for example, but being able to actually tell somebody a bit more about it really creates that connection and enables you to tell them more about the story that you want them to go away knowing about. My home studio. I'm sitting in it now. So that's what it looks like. So this is why I get great audio quality in my studio. You don't need a great setup like that if you're doing it yourself, but maybe something to aspire to. So how is audio being used in a sort of heritage setting? Well, audio tours we've already mentioned, but also there might be some audio as part of an exhibition. Maybe some people have to press a button and it tells them something about the thing that they're looking at. Also, QR codes are used quite a lot now, where you can just go and scan a QR code with your mobile phone. It will take you to some audio associated with whatever you happen to be viewing at that point. Podcasts are a great way to engage an audience and tell them more about your heritage site or your museum or whatever it is you want to talk about. You can create soundscapes. I'm sure you've all visited places where there's some sort of ambient noise playing that really immerses you in the place that you're visiting. Oral history is, of course, a great way to capture the past before it's gone, and then those can be used within a museum setting or as part of a gallery installation. And character voices too. I know I've been to places like castles where a hologram might appear of Henry VIII, let's say, and he's talking about what used to go on there, and actors are used to create those character voices. And it's not as expensive as you might think these days. Many audio tools, for example, will be built onto a mobile phone app, and there's a number of different apps out there that you could use. So visitors now use their own devices, which means there's no need for you to invest in the hardware. You don't need the headsets that you loaned out to people for them to use. They can just download a tool onto their own device and listen on their own phone. So the only cost, if you're working with somebody like me, would be the cost of the recording. If you're able to write your own script and take your own photos, I mean, if you've got your own volunteers that want to narrate the course, narrate the tour, obviously that might not cost you anything either. But do bear in mind what we said about audio quality. Something like an audio tour for a museum or a church, even. I've done quite a few for churches recently. It might be possible to find grant funding for that. So do have a look. If you've got a project in mind, it's always worth having a look to see what kind of funding is out there at the moment. So I've got a few examples now of the kinds of audio projects that I've worked on. This is St Mary Redcliffe Church in Bristol. They were using volunteers to take people around to do tours of the building, and were finding that sometimes they didn't have enough volunteers to do that, or people just wanted to go around on their own without being led. And so they created an audio version of the tour, which I narrated for them, and that sits on the Bloomberg Connects app. Bloomberg Connects is a free app that you can download to your phone. It's free for organisations to use, and it's free for visitors to use as well. And you can upload photographs to that and audio to that and maps, so people can work their own way around a space and take themselves on their own audio tour. Another place that I've done an audio tour for is the Escher Gallery in The Hague. I'm sure some of you are familiar with Escher and his strange pictures, which couldn't actually be possibly true in real life. Absolutely fascinating how he did those. And I'm the voice of the English tour. They've actually got two tours there. One is a tour of the gallery, and I talk about all the different Escher prints that you can see there. And the other one is a tour of the building, because the gallery is housed in Queen Emma's Winter Palace. So the actual building is interesting in its own right. And again, they've hosted that on the Bloomberg Connects app that I've just mentioned. Another app that I've done quite a bit of work for is the Easy Travel app. That's izi.travel. This is an audio tour for the Massey Shore, which is a fireboat which worked on the Thames in London. And it was actually one of the Dunkirk little ships, so it's got a fascinating story. And I've yet to visit. I tried to visit a couple of years ago and they were shut for renovations. So that's one I need to try and go back to. This is also on the Easy Travel app, and this one's a trail. So you can see there the numbers, and you work your way around this walking tour. And as you approach each number on the trail, if you've downloaded the tour to your app, it connects to GPS and it will start playing the audio that's associated with that stop on the tour. So that's a really clever thing to do. A similar thing could be done with QR codes as well, rather than relying on people being able to access GPS. They could maybe just scan a QR code at various points on the walk. This was a lovely project for the Gooienvecht tourist information board in the Netherlands. They created a 360 VR tour, and you can see the little yellow blobs on the map there. Each blob, if you press on it, it zooms into that part of the map and tells you all about the castle, for example, and different parts of the castle once you get inside it. Again, this was in Dutch and English, and obviously I was the English voice of this tour. That was a really nice one to do. Now, this one's a little bit different. This is a project that I did last year with Macclesfield Town Council. They were creating what they've called the Museum on the Street, and it's basically a loose walking tour around the town. And at various points, there are information boards which have got photographs of what that part of the town used to look like and stories about that part of the town. And then also a QR code that you can scan that takes you to basically like an audio version of the board, but with a bit more information in it. Now, they didn't want me as the voiceover artist because they wanted people with local accents. So in this case, I went and recorded them with my mobile studio, which is what you can see on there. Not as good quality as recording something in my booth where I am now, but still significantly better than just having a microphone perched on a desk somewhere. And so the volunteers came in. We set that up in the town hall. The volunteers came one at a time, and I coached them through recording their pieces for Museum on the Street. So that was really a fascinating one to do, and the people that came and took part really enjoyed doing that. And here's something a little bit similar. So this was also last year. I was involved in a project for the National Emergency Services Museum, which is in Sheffield. And it was the 85th anniversary of the Sheffield Blitz in December. And the museum were opening a new Blitz gallery to commemorate this anniversary. And as part of that, they wanted to record some wartime memories. So I went along to a primary school with my mobile studio, which you can see in the picture there, and recorded about 20 children, there was a lot of them, who were reading out wartime memories of people who'd been their age during the Sheffield Blitz. And that was a really wonderful experience. The children absolutely loved being voiceover artists for a day. I then edited that audio and sent it over to the museum, and that now forms part of this installation about the Blitz. So as you walk around the gallery, you can hear the children's voices talking about what it was like to live through the Sheffield Blitz. And it was really lovely to be able to bring those stories to life with children of the right age, so it's set the sound is right for for those memories. This is something that I've quite recently launched back in March, the Come Here podcast, which is a podcast for and about heritage attractions. So every week I chat to somebody from a different museum or gallery or castle, stately home, country park even, about why visitors should visit. So we chat about the history of the site, what there is for people to see there, and then we also cover all the useful visitor information, such as how accessible is it? Can you take your dog? Is it suitable for families? Can you get a cup of tea there? All the things that people want to know before they go. So I'm a couple of months into that now. It's available on all the usual podcast platforms, so Apple, Spotify, etc., and also via my website as well. And I usually share a link to it every week through Facebook and LinkedIn as well. So new episodes drop every Thursday, and I'm always looking for guests. So if you're involved in a heritage attraction and you'd like a bit of publicity, then do get in touch with me. It's free to take part, and all the recordings are done remotely, so you don't need to go anywhere. I just send you a link. When you click on it, connects you to me. I'll be here in my studio, and we just basically have a chat for 20 to 30 minutes about why people should come and visit your attraction. So just a final thought then about using audio in heritage. I think it's really important and something that shouldn't be overlooked, because audio can help heritage to feel more human. And in these days of AI, don't we all want a bit more human in our lives? So that's me. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and sorry that I couldn't be with you in person. But do feel free to connect with me. That's my website there at the top, lizdrury.com. My email address is liz@lizdrury.co.uk. And that's the link to the podcast page on my website there. So lizdrury.com/come hyphen here/. If you go there, you'll see the list of all the episodes that have been released so far. So thank you very much, and hopefully I might see you at a future meeting.